Partner visas and police checks. If you're applying for a partner visa, then you need to meet character requirements. Part of the way that you do that is through providing police checks. In this blog, I'm going to be talking all about police checks for your partner visa. First, to get some terminology out the way, what's the difference between a police check and a penal clearance? You might see these phrases used interchangeably, but they do mean the same thing. So in some countries they might be called a police check, and in other countries they might be called a penal clearance. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you're providing a police check for the relevant country, which we'll talk about further down the line. So who needs to provide a police check? Well, both the applicant and the sponsor need to provide a police check. And they need to provide a police check since turning 16 years of age and for any country that they have lived in for 12 months or more over the last 10 years. A lot of couples will ask me, well, why does the sponsor, so the sponsor is the Australian citizen partner, why do they need to provide a police check? The rationale behind this is quite simple. So in November of 2016, the department introduced new legislation to say that sponsors also had to provide police checks. And this was for the protection of all visa applicants. How do you know if you need to provide a police check? Well, the way that you calculate this is that you look at any country you have lived in or traveled to in the last 10 years, and if the total comes to 12 months or more in those last 10 years, then you'll need to provide a police check for that country. Oftentimes I see couples calculate this incorrectly because they might think that you need to be living in a particular country consecutively, but it's actually cumulatively. So there is a bit of homework to do in terms of going back through your records and finding out exactly where you've lived and exactly where you've traveled to over the last 10 years. How long are police checks valid for? For the purposes of a partner visa, your police check is going to be valid for 12 months. The exception to that is if your police check from a certain country has expired. So for example, your police check from Italy has expired, but you've not traveled back to Italy. So in that case, you don't need to provide a new Italian police check. And again, the rationale behind that is that you can't actually commit a crime if you've not stepped foot back into that country. What happens if you can't provide a police check from a certain country? So this is probably one of the most common questions that comes up when it comes to police checks. Oftentimes people can't provide a police check from a certain country. You need to make sure that you're making every attempt possible to obtain that police check. The Department of Home Affairs is very savvy when it comes to knowing whether you can provide a police check or whether you can't. So simply not putting in the effort to apply for a police check is not good enough. There are examples of where a person can't apply for a police check. So for example, if you've come from a war-torn country, if you are living in a country unlawfully. So these are some examples of where it's going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to provide a police check. But again, you do need to show that you have made every attempt to apply for that police check. In the event that the department is satisfied that you can't provide a police check, they may give you an opportunity to sign a particular character statutory declaration. How do you apply for your police check? The best place to look is the Department of Home Affairs website. They have guidelines for every country and they give you instructions on how you need to apply for that particular police check. When it comes to Australian Federal Police checks, that needs to be done through the Australian Federal Police. Does your police check need to be translated? The short answer is yes. So if it's not in English, then it does need to be translated, and you should be having an official translation done of your police check. The good news is that you don't need to send an original copy of your police check to the department. It's sufficient to take a coloured scanned copy and upload that to your ME account. What if you have an offence listed on your police check? If you do have an offence listed on your police check, or you haven't got your police check yet, but you think there might be something on there, then it is best to hold off on lodging your partner visa for now and get immigration advice. And perhaps the DIY route is not going to be the right route for you. You want to make sure that you're giving your application the best chance of success. Even if you think that your offence is minor, It's best to get immigration advice as you're investing close to $9,000 into the application fee. Please note that this blog is intended for general information only and does not constitute immigration advice. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button and head on over to thepartnervisaacademy.com.au to learn more. I'll see you on the next video.